Still going. Let me pin my comment. Yeah. Um Yay, hello everyone. Welcome Welcome back to my Asian mental health talks, which I have named because it's a pretty good descriptor of what's happening here, honestly. So, recap, I have 13 days left for my Kickstarter for my Golden Goddess Affirmation cards, which have served as the prompts for these Asian mental health talks, which is really fitting because one of the things that I wanted to do with these cards is to relate to other Asian women and connect with them about it. And so even with just this week, I've had, women message me and talk about how, yeah, and just that kind of feeling of being able to relate. So I'm really happy about that. Hello, all. So I'm really, really happy about that. And yeah, we're going to get going. Let's do this. The prompt for today, if you did not see it on my Instagram, is: my voice is my own. When I am quiet, it is because I want to be. When I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. I'm going to read that one more time. One, because I messed it up a little, and two, because I'm getting tongue-tied because it's Friday and I'm tired. And I had a migraine today. So this is quite a day for my brain. But I know it wasn't just the migraine because I had like a morning meeting at 10 and no words were flying out of my mouth, though I was presenting. So one more time. My voice is my own. When I am quiet, it is because I want to be. When I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. So I wrote this card because how do I say it? It makes my voice is mine. This is going to be quite a stream, everybody. I created it because I've had so many expectations put on me and my voice as an Asian woman, as an Asian daughter, as an Asian girlfriend. I feel like a lot of the times women, including Asian women, were expected to be quiet. I think this is especially true with Asian women because we're supposed to be submissive, right? We're supposed to be submissive and dainty, and we're all supposed to talk up here for some reason. Yeah, I don't. So, haha. So I want to go back actually into my past. When I was young, I was really, really shy, and I was really, really quiet. Yeah, I was. And as an adult, I know more now that it wasn't just because I was shy, but because, or like my shyness really was like fear of people, of being yelled at for saying something wrong. There was just like pure shyness in there too. But I was really quiet to a lot of people. And I don't know. It just kind of became quiet and shy were just like labels that I accepted about myself, even though I wasn't that way all the time. Like, especially when I was around like people I was comfortable with, like my brother and I yelled at each other all the time. My god sister, so I was close to, like, I would talk, but for the longest time I was just quiet. And now that I'm adult, and again, like, I understand why I was quiet more. And I understand when I'm quiet now, because even though it very much seems like I'm an extrovert and I'm streaming and stuff, so obviously there is some comfort around talking, I can get really shy and I can get really quiet, especially if I don't know anyone in the room. That's something that I've been like actively working on. It's really easy for me to be more of myself, more of my louder self, if I meet friends of friends, right? Because I trust that my friends don't have butt-face friends. So that's a little easier. And with all that said, I'm also realizing that there's nothing wrong with being quiet, right? Because again, looking back when I was young, like I was quiet because I was scared of other people, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But basically, I was trying to protect myself and do what I needed, which was to be more of an observer. For danger, but be more of an observer, and that's what I was comfortable with, and that's okay. And as an adult now, when I'm quiet, like that's okay. And I don't need to be mad at myself, especially as I'm trying to be like an Asian role model woman. Like I can't be mad at myself when I want to be quiet. I don't have to speak up in every room, because also sometimes that room is not about me and other people need to speak up. So I need to be okay with being quiet, and I need to practice on erasing the bad connotations I maybe have for being quiet, right? Because there are connotations around that. Quiet child, this quiet child is probably bullied. And that's not always true. Sometimes they just want to be quiet because they don't want to talk to you. And that's also something I realize now. When I'm quiet, sometimes it's really not just because like I'm shy or anything. I have nothing to contribute to whatever, group I'm in, or like this does not interest me. And sometimes I'll be quiet and sometimes I'll just leave because I have nothing to say and I don't want to say anything, and that's okay. So yeah, there's one side of the coin. And then the other side of the coin is now I'm really loud. And I think many more people know this. And sometimes it is an issue. There is also the other stereotype, right, of Asians. There's like meek and submissive. And then there's dragon lady, right? And that's what we see. You're either like one or the other. And both are highly sexualized, but we won't talk about that today. There's dragon lady, right? So when we see in the media, TV and movies, like women being loud and speaking up who are Asian and stuff, they're dragon ladies. They're mean. They're like, yeah, they're just mean. And I think this is actually what happens to a lot of women in general, right? When we speak up and when we're assertive, we're thought of as aggressive, which is very sexist. And they're just not used to women talking, but too bad. So there's also that with being loud, right? And also, and I don't know if this is necessarily bad, but sometimes when like I'm loud and people see that I'm loud, they're like, oh, but you're so small. How can you be so loud? And I'm just like, I know you don't mean to insult me, but this is also very strange. And insulting because you're kind of suggesting that I'm supposed to be quiet because I'm small and I'm Asian, but I'm not going to give you the middle finger. But I'm not. So that's an interesting dynamic that I feel like many Asian women, including myself, have kind of like lived and kind of like teeter-tottered in between. And it's not always fun. I'm going to read it again. My voice is my own. When I am quiet, it is because I want to be. When I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. So I kind of want to like zoom into when I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. So that little part of the affirmation actually brings up memories of just me as a teenager speaking against my parents or just saying what I believe, right? Saying what I believe. And it's tougher when I'm not saying there wasn't child angst, but I think a lot of the time, especially when you are an Asian daughter, you know, you're really just supposed to respect what your elders say and shut up. And that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool with me. So I think there's also, like, it reminds me of that. Like, just because I'm loud, it doesn't mean I'm just trying to be loud out of rebellion. You know, it's not just me. It's not always just me being an angsty teen. It's me being passionate about what I'm saying right now. It is me being frustrated and trying to communicate that frustration to you, not as rebellion, but because I'm really trying to communicate. That is important. And then as an adult, being loud and speaking out recently for me as an Asian woman has been not great. I've been called an angry minority in this past, I guess, year now. So that's been fun. And really angering because what the crap? Just because I'm, again, sometimes, or a lot of the time, when I am loud and I'm being very public and very vocal, it's because I believe in something, not because I'm wanting to rebel against someone else or ruin someone else, unless that something someone else is like white supremacy and racism and misogyny and all that stuff. You know, those are the things I'm rebelling against. It's not necessarily like, no, I'm just going to keep it like that. Stop that sentence and rewind. Yeah, it's because I'm passionate. It's because I believe in something. And honestly, I love when I see more Asian women speaking up about whatever they're passionate about, whether it is social justice, whether it's about anime, whether it's about like bird watching. When I see Asian women speak up, it makes me really happy. Because our voices are very important and they've been smushed down for such a long time. And that's not something we deserve. And then I want to add in this last part and read it again. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. So we kind of talked about this yesterday or the other day where, no, it's actually the first day when we were talking about women who want to have children and women who don't want to have children, and how whoever picks what, it's not a personal attack against the opposite choice. When I speak, it's an expression of me, right? I'm not necessarily doing a personal attack. Me speaking my mind, me speaking my opinion is not a personal attack against you. And sometimes it's taken really as that because, one, I am a woman, again, two, because I'm an Asian woman, right? Like these things that are the intersection of it all, the things are amplified. Not only am I a woman speaking up, but I'm also Asian. Aren't Asians supposed to be quiet? I thought they were the model minority. What is happening here, right? You have all that history coming in as I speak. Like it's very layered. And that's why, again, I really love it when any Asian woman speaks and speaks up. It's an expression of us, and our expression needs to be out there more, and it needs to be respected. And how we do that is honestly by, one, respecting each other as Asian women too, even if we differ. You know, acknowledging that we are still people, even though sometimes we make opposite choices. There are still more that bonds us together. For example, wanting Asian women to be celebrated and to succeed, right? We don't have to make the same choices all the time to be on the same team. That's not, it can't work that way. There's no way for it to work that way. And the more that we have each other's backs and making our own choices, the more respected our voices will be. The louder our messages will be. Yeah. So again, This card's really important to me because being like a loud Asian woman is just like, who started as like a really quiet Asian girl. Like it's sometimes it blows my mind because there's just so much expectation of like what people want from me, even random strangers, even like random dudes DMing me on social media. It's been a time. Anyways, that is a different conversation. I want to read it again. My voice is my own. When I am quiet, it is because I want to be. When I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. It's really important that we all learn to use our voice and also like take that responsibility. Responsibility isn't always bad. I feel like everyone's like, I don't want responsibility, but I mean, it's there. I am a person living in this world. I do have a responsibility to this world. That's at least what I believe. So I think me using my voice is my responsibility. And it's a good responsibility to have. It's our responsibility to speak up for each other. It's our responsibility to know when to not be speaking and to be quiet, right? That's another use of your voice, is knowing when to be quiet. And that can be like a very strong tool, right? Giving the stage to someone else who needs it right now, because it's not you that needs it. So there are other people who can speak better on another topic, and that's cool. That doesn't take away from you. That's just you understanding how effective you can be in this world. And that's a good thing. You knowing where you're most effective in this world is a good thing. And I every time I read these things, I just want to like sing Mulan after everyone, because that's how I feel. And I think this is actually the last thing, or the last topic of what I want to speak about with these cards. I know this kind of seems very much like quiet versus loud, I think, but it's not. And I hope you guys pick up that nuance, right? Nuance. I'm quiet when I want to be. I'm loud when I want to be. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. I think that's actually really important to put out there. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. Just like what I've been saying, but I wanted to make it more straightforward. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. And you don't have to speak loudly to be taken seriously. I know, or at least in my experience, sometimes in a group, especially if it's mainly men in the group, I do have to speak louder or I get spoken over. So there's that, but we shouldn't have to do that. It's really annoying. But there can be quiet. You can be quiet and powerful. When I think of quiet and powerful, I actually think of this modern dance teacher here in San Diego. Her name is Kamala. Oh, she's so good. She teaches Horton. She's so beautiful. She's such a beautiful dancer and such an amazing teacher. And I will always remember the first class I took with her, because we're there in the room and people, we're there and people are kind of talking, kind of stretching, getting ready to go. And all of a sudden it just starts getting quieter and quieter. And I'm like, what's happening? And it's because Kalma has started. She has started giving us the warm up. She didn't go, hey class, we're going to start. She just walked to the front and started doing her thing. And it made us all pay attention, right? Because we were like, oh, wow. And once it got quiet too, like she stayed quiet. Like she was like talking like this. This is probably like the loudest. And I could hear her, like it was clear. And like, it was so quiet in the room. And I was like, dang. And she still teaches like that. And she is like a badass BZ. I'm trying to take away some of the cursing. Yeah, she's just so, she's so powerful. And so, again, women, like we don't always have to be loud. Like we can literally be quiet and that can be strong. And that's good too. A quiet strength is still a strength. You know, again, the whole point is that we have a choice and our voice is ours. We don't have to make ourselves loud. We don't have to make ourselves quiet. We get to use our voice the way we want to be effective in the places we want. And it's really important that we own that and we have that responsibility and take it so that we can pass that knowledge, right? And that mindset, that acceptance of ourselves, so that we pass it on to the next generation of women. And not even this them, but like to each other, to each other, and maybe even up to the generations above us, because why not? We can all celebrate each other. We can all empower each other. Empowerment doesn't just go top down. It can go in all directions. Yeah, no, I like that. Maybe let's end with that. That sounded very concise. So yes, I'm going to read it one more time. I know I've read it a lot, but it's just because there's so many pieces. Y'all, these affirmation cards, I really tried. Like, I put my best when I wrote them, and they're not all of them are like very like simple being short, because there is so much context, just like there's so much context in being an Asian woman. So one more time, I know it's backwards for some of you, but how do I focus this? Here we go. My voice is my own. When I am quiet, it is because I want to be. When I am loud, it is not out of rebellion. My voice is not a reaction to you. It's an expression of me. And that was our prompt for today. The weekend is here, so I will not be streaming live the next 2 days, but I'll be back on Monday. If you are interested in supporting my cards, the link is a pinned comment there and everywhere. If you're on my YouTube or Facebook, the Golden Goddess Kickstarter link is right in that corner. Also, if you just Google Golden Goddess Affirmations, you will find my Kickstarter, which is cool. Yeah, SEO. So you'll find that if you would like to support them. We have 13 more days and we're at 50%. Oh, thank you to everyone who has supported me so far. Thank you for everyone who is just here with me in the space. What else? If you don't have the money to help, I get it. I super get it. And so if you would like to support the cards in another way, please share the Kickstarter link on social media. You can also share my lives, because it kind of helps you guys to get to know like my affirmation cards, what they are and how I intend them to be used, or how I intend them to be used. Use them as prompts for journals or conversations, or just like reflections for yourself. They're very important to me. So really, thank you for all the support you guys are giving. I will see you on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So again, thank you for being here, and I will see you on Monday. Like I'm again just trying to end these streams at the same time. Yes.